Hey guys, Carolyn here. Today I've got 3 DIYs for you. Let's get started. For this DIY, you'll need a small container with a lid. I'm using these miniature mason jars that I got from Walmart. You'll also need some matches, some scrapbook paper, Mod Podge, paint, Now I'm roughing up the lid on this container just because it's a good idea anytime you're gluing or painting anything to rough it up a little bit, and it creates those scratches and helps the paint or glue adhere a little bit better. I'm choosing this scrapbook paper here because it has a little bit of red in it, and the strip for the to strike the match on is a red color. So I wanted it to go with that. I'm just using the lid to trace around with a pencil to get the size of our circle here, and it's okay if it doesn't fit perfectly, if it hangs over. You don't want it to be too small, but a little too big is fine, because after we Mod Podge it onto our lid, we're going to use sandpaper to trim off the edges. I'm using this sanding block that I got from Dollar Tree, and on the edges you're going to want to use the more coarse side of your sanding block. That's going to make it faster to sand away the excess around the edges here. If you use the finer coarse side, it'll just take a little bit longer to get that off of there. Now, because I'm using the strike on box matches, I'm going to have to use this strip here on the side of the box because the matches are going to need this to be able to be lit. I've seen where people use sandpaper when making a container for matches, but you're going to have to purchase the Strike Anywhere matches if you're going to be using sandpaper to strike your matches, because these will not work on sandpaper. They have to have that strip and what's inside of that strip on the box in order to be lit. Once you get the strip glued on and the glue sets up, you're going to remove the excess just the same way we did with the scrapbook paper. And you can go over the scrapbook paper with more Mod Podge if you're wanting to seal it for some reason, but do not go over the matte striking strip with the Mod Podge, because that will probably prevent the matches from working on it. I was going to do the sandpaper technique, but once I searched for the Strike Anywhere matches, they were all, for some reason, $10 or over per box, compared to about $1 per box for these. So I don't know why those matches are so much more expensive, or maybe it's just a thing right now where those types of matches are more expensive. Maybe they'll go down in price later, you know, sign of the times or whatever. But I also painted the rim, but you don't have to. I used some cashew chalk paint by Waverly. For this next DIY, you'll need a container. I'm using this yogurt container. It's called Wee Yogurt. These little jars that the yogurt comes in are really cute. They have a neat shape, and there's lots of DIYs you can do with them. I'm also going to be using these stick-on jewels from Dollar Tree. I'll be using some spray paint, and you'll need some wire of some sort, some crafting wire. I like how these jewels come already in a row, and so it makes it really easy for lining them up if you have a straight line that you need to create. You could use additional adhesive on these, but they were pretty sticky and I decided not to. I took it outside and spray painted it, and it ended up needing several coats to get good coverage and cover the red on those jewels. If you can find some of those that are white or close to the color that you're going to be painting your container, that would be an awesome idea. After looking at my wire that I had, I decided that this, and I'm not sure what gauge it is, you can probably tell from the video when I'm editing, the video is very small, but I decided that this gauge of wire was too skinny. I could have used it, but I probably would have wrapped it around itself to bulk it up some. But I had this thicker gauge wire here, this copper wire, and I decided to go with it. Now you're just going to use some wire pliers, and it's going to take just some figuring out and some working with this wire to get it to size, and trimming it off, and you'll be using a separate piece of wire to create a handle. It took me several minutes of working with this just to figure out the plan of how I wanted to accomplish this, and it's not it wasn't difficult, but it just took some time to get it just right and get it looking just right. You could use this for storing something in, or I'm going to be using it as a candle holder, and it's going to go in my bathroom. For this next DIY, you'll need 2 of these chalkboards from Dollar Tree, 3 packs of the 5-gallon stir sticks from Walmart. They are $1 a piece. And you'll need some wood glue, a staple gun with staples, and paint or stain if you'd like. I'm just going to remove the little easel on the back of these and remove the sticker. Now at first I decided to glue the paint sticks onto the sides of the chalkboard and then come back and put a staple in, but later you'll see that I switched up what I was doing and I just added some glue to the end of each paint stick and then went ahead and stapled it right then instead of waiting for the glue to set up. I don't really know why I did it in that order. When I began doing this project, I found that my staples weren't long enough, so I had to go into my tool bag and find longer staples to go into my staple gun. So you're going to have to make sure that your staples are long enough to go through the paint stir stick and into your chalkboard. Because of the awkward angle that I was stapling these, I had to use a little hammer to tamp down the staple every time after I put a staple in because I was trying to keep my project underneath the camera, which is kind of low, closer to the table, and so it was a little bit awkward, but it was okay, and it's no big deal if your staple is sticking out a little bit to go back in with a hammer and just finish tamping it all the way in. You're going to want to make sure you wipe away your excess glue if you have any, which you most likely will. As you staple the wood down, it's probably going to leak out the sides, and that's okay. Just wipe it away and clean it up as good as you can. And in fact, after you get the whole project done, maybe go in with a wet rag and wipe it down, because if you're going to stain, if you're going to paint it, then don't worry about that, about getting all the glue off. But if you're going to stain it, the stain is going to react differently on top of that wood glue than it will, on just the wood. So it's going to have a little bit of a different look, maybe create a pattern. You'll be able to see where it was the glue was coming out at. Once I got the sides done, I did the bottom the same way I did the sides. And I don't know why, what happened. I lost the video of where I put a brace across the middle of the bottom, halfway down. And just what I did was I used a jumbo craft stick, like popsicle stick, and I just did the same technique to where I put it across the bottom, on the bottom, underneath the paint sticks, and then just glued and stapled it to the bottom, making sure to staple it to the very sides of the crate to give it extra stability in the center. Along with that recording was where I added some tumbling tower blocks just for extra bracing inside of the crate. You don't have to do that. This was a pretty sturdy crate. I was very happy with the results. But you can see where I just took some tumbling tower blocks and wood glue, and just that way, one side is connected to another. It's just another connecting brace to add to the stability. This crate cost about $5 to make, and you can see here at Walmart they have a mini crate that's about half the size of this crate that I just made. And so for about the same price, you can make a crate that's double the size of the one that you can buy at Walmart. I will definitely be making more of these if I can find more of the chalkboards at Dollar Tree. My Dollar Tree is pretty small and just doesn't have very much selection, and it seems like I get everything last or not at all. When I watch these other crafters doing their videos, I'm like, what kind of Dollar Tree do they have? Because mine just never has the stuff that they're showing. And the shelves at my Dollar Tree are oftentimes pretty bare, pretty empty. I was so excited that they expanded their craft supplies, but I hope that they do have some more of these in stock, and if so, I'll be grabbing some because I want to make some more of these for storage for my pantry. You can leave your crate the natural color, or you can paint or stain it, whichever color you'd like. I used antique wax on mine. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you to my subscribers. I appreciate y'all. I have a lot of fun making these videos. See y'all next time.